Hello everyone, welcome back. And today in this video, I just wanted to give an update regarding Dani Olmo and Nico Williams because I think those two players, one is moving closer to Barcelona and the other is moving further away from the club in the summer. Dani Olmo, it seems very likely that Barcelona are going to finalize this deal in the next few days. With Nico Williams, it just does not seem like it's going to be as close. I would be surprised at this point if he does join the club. That's not to say that it's officially out, it's ruled out. But I think I would be very surprised if he does join the club this summer. So I just wanted to talk about all of that today. And I'll start with Dani Olmo because Fabrizio has officially given the here we go. It does seem official that Barcelona have agreed with RB Leipzig for a fee of around 55 million plus 70 million in variables. And his release clause was 60 million, so I don't really know how that works. Maybe Deco just wanted to pay a little bit extra just to help them out a little bit, I guess, because I'm guessing the variables are pretty easy. I'm guessing that they'll be met. So, yeah, I know a lot of Barca fans are upset with this signing. And some people say it's somewhat of a Coutinho signing where there's a lot of talent in that player, but it's not exactly what the squad needs. My only hope is that Hansi Flick has asked for Dani Olmo. This isn't a Deco and Laporta signing that really Hansi Flick had no say in. I hope that's not the case because, of course, with Hansi Flick, he looks good this preseason. I think he set the team up well. So hopefully he has a very big say in the players that Barca are going to sign this summer. And the first one being Dani Olmo, I do think he will have a spot in the team. I think he'll probably be played as an attacking midfielder, and then if Barca really don't go into the season signing a left winger, then he would slide over there, or maybe Ansu Fati hopefully would be fit at the start of the season, so he could be starting there, but I think that's a lot to ask for Ansu Fati. So, yeah, I understand Barca fans' frustration with the squad planning, because I think overall, the signing of Dani Olmo, I think he has a lot of talent. We saw at the Euros he was very good, and Barca, they wanted to sign him before the Euros even began, so it wasn't just because of that tournament that he was brought to Barcelona. But I don't know. I'm just not completely convinced it's what the team needs. But at the end of the day, it seems very likely that he's joining Barcelona. It's basically official at this point. There were video of his agents and himself getting on a plane to fly to Barcelona to finalize this deal. So if this signing does happen, I'm absolutely 100% going to back him as a player and be excited to watch him next season because there's really nothing. I mean, you don't want someone, even if it's not the player that you wanted the club to sign, you don't want to just bash him right away. I mean, give him an opportunity to prove himself. I think he's a great player. There is a great player in there. Maybe he's not exactly what the squad needs at this point in time, but still, there's a lot of talent in Dani Olmo, and I think he can provide, a breath of fresh air for Barca's attack. Hopefully, he can score some goals, create some goals as well, and I think he will help Barcelona in the attacking third. I think the final third was a spot where Barcelona really struggled last season. So hopefully, the signing of Dani Olmo, it can provide an upgrade in that position. So, like I said, I'm very excited to watch him. Maybe it's not exactly what the squad needed because you ended the summer trying to buy a left winger and a defensive midfielder. You ended up as Dani Olmo for around 60 million as your first signing. But still, I want to support the player because I think he's a very good player and it's about a 5 or 6 year deal. So, I mean, he's going to be at Barcelona for a long time. So, you hope it works out. I hope Barca can support him. And I hope we get the best out of him, and Hansi Flick is able to find a very good position for him next season. But on the same day that all of this Dani Olmo news is finalized, Nico Williams does seem set to stay at Bilbao because he just posted a video where he was in Bilbao's training ground, and he said he was excited for the next season. Opa Atleti, that's what he said. So, I understand maybe he was just going to do that anyways. I understand maybe some fans saying there is a chance, and there are some reports from Barca sources saying that it's not over yet. There's still a small chance that Barca would be able to sign him, and they're trying to work behind the scenes to make that signing happen. But I just don't think Nico Williams would be the guy to go to the training ground to say, I'm excited for this next season to start while he's wearing a Bilbao shirt and then join Barcelona a week or two later. I just don't think he's that guy. I think he has a lot of loyalty. I think, as I said this entire summer, I wasn't going to be surprised if he stayed at Bilbao, but now that the fact that it actually seems likely to happen, it hurts, honestly, for Barca because I think he was going to be such a good signing. He was going to slot in perfectly to that left wing position, but I just don't think it's going to work out. I think there's some Barca, I'm sure like Gerard Romero is still going to hype this up and say, oh, there's still a chance things are happening behind the scenes. Nico Williams, he might actually join Barca. I'm going to be honest, it's going to be very difficult for me to bite into even one of those rumors because, I'm hopeful that this still happens, but I got to be realistic. You have to be realistic when he's posting a video in Bilbao's training ground and saying, I'm excited for the next season. I mean, what are the chances that he actually leaves? I think some players have definitely done that before. They've gotten back for preseason and then they leave a week later. But Nico Williams, I just don't think he's that guy to do that, because I think he does have a lot of loyalty at Bilbao, and I think he would have let them know far in advance if he was leaving. And, there were some reports that Barca were waiting for this money to come in, so then they could actually, give Nico Williams guarantees that they would be able to register him and pay him the proper amount. But because Dani Olmo is being signed, it just, for me, all directions point to Nico Williams staying at Bilbao this summer, which is very unfortunate for Barca. It would have been such a great signing, and himself and Dani Olmo together, I would have been very happy with that transfer window, but it just does not seem like Nico Williams is joining Barcelona, unfortunately, this summer. But like I said, I'm sure some Barca sources are going to come out and say that, oh, Nico Williams to Barca is still possible. Like, they're going to try and work behind the scenes to make this signing happen, and Laporta and Deco, they're going to do everything they can. I just do not think it's going to happen. Like, just talking through this, I would think Nico Williams, given the fact that his brother plays for Bilbao, he's came through their academy, I think he would have given them a big notice if he was leaving this summer. And some Barca fans are posting that Johan Cruyff quote saying, the Barca train only comes once a year, and if you have second thoughts playing for Barcelona, it's not going to work out. And so I don't know what's going to happen next year. I think there were definitely some reports in the last couple of weeks that Nico Williams wanted to stay at Bilbao for one more season, and then he was potentially going to leave. I don't know. Is that too late for Barca? I don't know. I don't really see them signing a left-wing replacement for him. I think the replacement is going to be Dani Olmo, who's an attacking midfielder, can also play on the left, and maybe he will this season, but I don't think that's his best and most preferred position. So, Barca, if they go into next season and they have those same struggles trying to find a consistent left winger that's, can be at that level of world class, and then Nico Williams is available, who knows what's going to happen, but I think he's going to sign a new contract with Athletic Bilbao, and I think his release clause surely would be around 100 million, I would think. I don't think it would stay at 50 or 60 million. So, and then can Barca afford that next summer? We don't really know. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Honestly, I wish there were better news. I love talking about positive news, so I'd really like to say, oh yeah, Nico Williams is close to joining Barcelona. But from that video, I'm going to be honest, I have a ton of doubt now that he's joining the club, because I just don't think he's the type of player to do that to Atleti. I just think that he would have already told them he's leaving. I don't think he would have showed up to the training ground. But if he did, I don't think he would have said, yo, I'm excited for this season to start. Like, Alpo Atleti. I just don't know if he would have said that. And then leave like a week later. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I have my doubts about that. And it does not seem like Barca are going to sign another left-wing replacement. Because, yeah, like I said, we don't know what happened behind the scenes. But did Laporta and Deco know about this like a long time ago? Because I just don't think, I don't know. I just don't exactly know what happened behind the scenes, because it did seem like Nico Williams was open to leaving Bilbao before the Euros started, because he told his agent, I don't want to know anything until after the Euros is over. And if you're answering the question like that, you would think that there were talks about him potentially leaving Bilbao. So it seemed like he was open at some point to leave. He probably had one conversation with Deco and said, yeah, no, I'm staying away from that. I'm staying at Bilbao. I don't actually know, but yeah, it's a confusing situation, because if Laporta and Deco knew about this a while ago, you would have thought they would try and, replace him with a direct replacement rather than someone whose best position is not even in the left wing spot. So, I don't know. It's a confusing situation, but I'm going to be honest, it does not seem likely that Nico Williams is joining Barcelona. And like I said with Dani Olmo, I know a lot of Barca fans are feeling pretty negative about this signing, but I don't think that has anything to do with Dani Olmo personally. I just think it's the position that he's playing in that I really don't think Barca needed to reinforce. But, maybe Hansi Flick has a plan for him. Maybe he's going to play more as like an inside left winger. I could understand that, but I don't know what we saw with Barca last season. I think Joao Felix's inconsistency in that left wing spot, you just don't want that again. And I think Joao Felix and Dani Olmo, they kind of both have that idea that they want to play inside and they want to get a lot of touches. They don't really hold the width. They're not direct 1v1 players. So it's just, I don't know. I don't really know what the game plan was there. But maybe he's going to be played as an attacking midfielder. And maybe there's some crazy change that they do bring a left winger in. I don't actually know. That seems unlikely. And if the only signing is Dani Olmo this summer, yeah, you've got to be asking serious questions about Barca's board. But, like I said, none of that really matters regarding Dani Olmo personally. I think we should all be positive towards him and hope that he can come in and make a big difference in Barca's attack. Because, like that tournament with Spain, I think he was scoring crucial goals in big, important moments for Spain. And I think he came in. He was obviously on the bench when Pedri was fit. But he came in, and I think he made a big difference every time he was off the bench. So I do think he can come in and make a positive impact on Barca's team. Maybe he's not exactly what the club needed, But it doesn't change the fact that Dani Olmo, he wanted to return to the club. He thinks he can make a difference, and I hope he's right, you know. And I think Hansi Flick, he would get the most out of Dani Olmo, hopefully, and I think he'll find a spot for him that's suitable to his talent, and I think he can make a difference. I think we should be positive and just root for him, because at this point the money's already spent. It's not out of our pockets, so let's just support the player. And I hope it's not like a Coutinho thing where basically he has a ton of talent, he joins not being played in his preferred position. I don't know. I just hope that's not the case at all. And with the injury problems, I know some Barca fans have said that he's very injury prone. You know, I hope he's able to stay healthy. I haven't really watched him much, kept up with him much for RB Leipzig. I just saw him in the big games, and like I said, he's able to drift in and out. But I think sometimes he does score a crucial goal here and there. So I hope that's the case for Barca. I hope he's able to make a big impact on the way that Barca want to play. And I know the Euros during the summer, it maybe does make it difficult for the clubs to negotiate with the players, because I think, you know, obviously after the Euros, the market value of players is a lot higher if they have a good tournament. And then, of course, like Nico Williams said before the Euros started, he doesn't really want to know anything until after the Euros because their full focus is on the international tournament with their country. So I understand that, but just Laporta and Deco, the way that they've handled this summer, I think it's not convinced maybe 5% of Barca fans. I think almost everyone is asking serious questions about the board and their game plan this summer. Maybe they have some surprises later on in the summer before the season starts. But currently, if the only signing is Dani Olmo, when Laporta himself a month ago said, we want to bring in a left winger and a defensive midfielder, I mean, what went wrong? Why would you say that and then not follow up with it at all? So that's my hope, is maybe he does have one or two more signings that he wants to make. I have no clue. You have to ask serious questions about Deco, of course, because, I mean, did he have the merit to get this job in the first place? No, of course not. He was a Barca player. Then he was a sporting agent. But, I mean, did he have the ability to operate all signings for Barca, for a club like Barca, and the current financial situation that they're in? It doesn't seem like it. So, yeah, I don't know. Of course, we're asking serious questions about Barca's board. But that's not to say I don't think they tried their hardest to sign Nico Williams. I think maybe he just wanted to stay at Bilbao. But then to go for Dani Olmo, a player that plays in a completely different position, that has a completely different profile, that adds something very different to what Nico Williams adds to the game. And what Nico Williams adds to the game is exactly what Barca needed. And then you go for a player that's not very similar. I don't understand it. And of course you've got to be asking serious questions. But maybe there's some surprises. But as we know right now, Dani Olmo is the only signing that Barca are going to make when they went into the summer knowing that they needed a left winger and a defensive midfielder. If anyone can try and make that make sense to me, I would appreciate it. But yeah, it's hard to not ask questions about Barca's board currently. But if Dani Olmo is the only signing that Barca need to make, then who knows? Maybe Hansi Flick said, we don't need that many signings. I think, of course, he's used a lot of La Masia players. I think he said he's been impressed with the academy players and their introduction to the first team. He's been impressed with all the talent that the club has at their disposal. So maybe he wasn't really pushing for these signings. But Dani Olmo, it doesn't seem like that was a Hansi Flick signing. It seems more like a Laporta signing, to be completely honest. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but yeah, and if Dani Olmo is the only player that the club signed this summer, I'm still going to go into next season very positive. I hope that Hansi Flick can use the academy, which I think if Dani Olmo is the only signing, he will be using more of the academy, especially in the first month when a lot of Barca players are coming back injured or just not fully fit from the European tournaments and the Copa America as well. So it doesn't really matter, though, who Barca signed. I'm still going to, of course, like all of you all, I'm going to support Barca 100% and be excited for this new season, because I think Hansi Flick, he's shown very promising signs in those first few preseason games with the way that he wants to set the team up, with the way that he wants to play and go about every single game. I'm excited. It doesn't matter if it's only Dani Olmo that joins the club. If Barca do miss out on Nico Williams, I'm still going to be very excited for this next season to start, and I'm going to be rooting for the players. And I know a lot of Barca fans are just negative, and I've seen some comments about Dani Olmo joining, and I'm sure he sees those. Maybe he wants to prove everyone wrong that he is the right signing for Barca. And like I said, I don't want to take anything away from the player that he is. I think he can definitely provide something for Barca, but is he what the club needs? That's the biggest question for me. And so that has nothing to do with him. That's a Laporta and Deco problem. So we should definitely not take our anger out on Dani Olmo, who just wants to come in and help the club this summer. So, yeah. And like I said, it's a difficult moment, I think, to miss out on Nico Williams, because we were all so excited about the possibility of him joining, and we saw at the Euros how crucial of a player he would have been for Barca, and I think he would have elevated the team to another level. But if he wants to stay at Athletic Bilbao, I completely understand. I mean, if I was playing with my brother, even if I had an opportunity to possibly make a step up in my career, it would be very difficult for me to leave. I mean, if I was playing with my brother, I think I would stay at that club forever. So, yeah, anyways, as always, thank you very much for watching my video.